No, no piggies were harmed in the making of this Char Siu pork tenderlove. Instead, it's made with mushrooms and vital wheat gluten, some pea protein, and that signature Char Siu flavor with Chinese 5-spice. It's like a Chinese barbecue sauce. And the pork tenderlove is baked in the sauce to absorb its flavor. And it's the perfect thing that you can serve for picnics. You can serve it cold, you can serve it hot, you can serve it warm over rice with dim sum. As an appetizer, for a potluck, there are so many options to pork tenderlove, Char Siu style. All right, so we're gonna start out with the seitan, and I'm gonna make the mixture, first of all, in the food processor. I'm making a slurry into which I'm going to mix the vital wheat gluten and the pea protein. So starting out with about 8 ounces of oyster mushrooms, throw that in there. This will be part of the base, contributing flavor and texture. I'm gonna add a half a cup of water, about a quarter cup of some sort of liquid oil. This is avocado oil. I'm going to add a little bit of liquid smoke, not too much. If I were just making pork tenderlove, I probably would add more, but I'm making Char Siu pork, so I'm not gonna do that. I added maybe half a teaspoon or so. Okay, hold on. I gotta look at my recipe from the Vegan Meat Cookbook because I can't remember everything in my head. So I'm now gonna add a tablespoon of Bragg's liquid aminos. Now you can add soy sauce, you could add coconut aminos. I like liquid aminos in this. It gives it a slightly smokier flavor, and it's saltier too. I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of onion powder. And I'm going to now puree this. I do not want to over process it. I want a little bit of texture in there. That'll create the filaments that I guess, yeah, that we're looking for in the pork, so it's not one smooth texture. So I'm gonna turn this on. We're gonna process it until it's mostly broken up, making sure there is some texture that's remaining. And it does help to put the blade in the food processor. That's just how it is. There's gonna be mistakes that happen along the way. We keep it real. We keep it real here. Okay, so let's turn this on. And get something to scrape that down. Just gonna get the big chunks, give it one last whir, and then I think that's ready. That's it. All right, so we're gonna get that into the bowl here. I'm gonna start out by adding 1 1/2 cups of vital wheat gluten. We're gonna use a total of 1 3/4 cup. And I have a half a cup of pea protein. Now, this is an unsweetened pea protein. I got this at Whole Foods. It's just organic pea protein powder, unflavored, no sugar added. And you can get this pretty much anywhere, any vitamin shop, any natural food store, or online. So we're gonna mix this up. I have reserved about a quarter cup of vital wheat gluten that I'm gonna add at the very end after I've mixed this up. And why I do that, why I separate it, is I found that I can get that sort of filamenty texture better by holding back some of the vital wheat gluten and then adding it at the end. Okay, we're gonna knead it for a minute until it starts to get somewhat firm. And then finally, I'm gonna add the balance of the vital wheat gluten. And when you do it this way, the absorption into the liquid is a little different, and it helps to create the little sinewy texture that we're kind of looking for. Okay, that is now done. So I'm going to form it into a loaf. It's totally fine if there's little crevices, if it's not completely one uniform mass, because it'll allow the barbecue sauce, the char siu sauce that we make, to kind of go into the middle. It'll add flavor. It'll be wonderful. And so now we'll just set this aside for a few minutes while we mix the char siu sauce, and then we'll smother the entire thing in the sauce, and in the oven it goes. So I'm starting out with a half a cup of maple syrup. You could use brown sugar to give it a little bit of that caramel flavor if you like. I'm going to add now the hoisin sauce. So we need about 6 tablespoons, which is about 1/3 cup. So that's probably close enough. 1/4 cup of soy sauce. And I'm going to add 1/4 cup of sake, or you can use Shaoxing rice wine, which is more traditional. I don't have any right now, so I do always have some Japanese sake lying around for cooking with. So this is lucky sake. I'm going to add about 4 teaspoons of sesame oil. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is exactly 4 teaspoons. Now I'm going to add about a teaspoon and a half of Chinese 5 spices. Now I do want to measure this because 5 spice powder can be incredibly strong. I don't want to do my Miyoko thing just eyeballing it. And finally, I'm going to add some garlic. For some reason, people are always gifting me these little garlic contraptions, so I brought out 2 of them to show you. Normally, I just use a knife. I have this little contraption. You put the garlic in here, and then you do this. You mix it, or you turn it like this. And there's little teeth inside of it that will finely mince your garlic. So, all right, so now it feels like it's been minced. Let's take a look. And you have finely minced garlic. So if you're not great at mincing garlic, a little contraption like this, I have no idea where my friend got this, can be very, very helpful. If someone's helping you in the kitchen and they're not great at chopping, this is a good one. Now here's another one. This one, you rock back and forth like this. I don't remember who got me this. I don't think this one works as well. Although, see, it pushes it up through here. Get the garlic in there. I probably added about 6 cloves. I might add another if I can find some more garlic. Now, if you don't want to chop the garlic or use one of these fancy schmancy contraptions that I have, you can put the whole thing in the blender and just puree it. Also, if you want a little bit of red color, you can add a couple of slices of red beets, which will give the char siu pork that signature red color. Beets work great. A little bit of beet juice, a splash of beet juice, or a couple of slices of beets. Put the whole thing, including the garlic, unchopped in your blender, and you will have that signature red char siu sauce, which we're skipping because I don't have any red beets. Actually, this is a beet that I got from the garden, but it's a golden beet, not a red beet, so it won't make the char siu sauce red. So we're just going to stick with it being more of a natural brown color. Okay, now what we're going to do is put this in a Dutch oven and put it in the oven for about 1 hour and 15 to 1 hour and 30 minutes or so. So I have a Dutch oven right here. I'm just going to lightly oil the bottom of it. I'm going to pour in my sauce. And I'm going to add my pork tenderlove. And I'm just going to keep turning it to make sure that it's coated on all sides. Oh, this is going to be so delicious. I just love char siu pork. And this freezes beautifully, so you can go ahead and make this now, put it in the freezer, and then pull it out for a party or an event or a dinner you're having. The oven is now ready at 300 degrees, and in it goes. And I'm going to set the timer for about 1.5 hours, except I'm going to check it about every 30 minutes or so. And so I can baste it, make sure that the char siu sauce is permeating the entire pork tenderlove and just creating that wonderful, deep, profound sweet and spicy flavor that we're looking for. Okay, it's getting bigger. As you can see, it's finally cooking. I'm just gonna keep basting it. Make sure that I've got stuff on the top. And as you can see, the sauce is thickening. Oh, this is gonna be amazing. This is going to be amazing. I'm gonna cut into this and make sure that it is baked through and through. And I can tell by just, oh yes, oh boy, that is done. I'm gonna pull it out now. Okay, it is really, really hot now, and it's also a little soft. Now this pork tenderlove does firm up as it cools, but I'm gonna just take it out right now. Keeps for quite a while, for a couple of weeks at least. If you wanna keep it longer, definitely freeze it, and it freezes absolutely beautifully. So it is very tender now, and this is going to become nice and chewy as it cools off. You can serve this cold, you can serve it at room temperature, you can reheat it slightly if you want, and you'll find that it's full of flavor because of this wonderful char siu sauce on top. When it's cool, you want to slice it as thinly as you can because it will become very, very chewy. So there we go. We've got char siu pork tenderlove. I'm going to just put this in my mouth right now. Vegan char siu pork tenderlove, where no little piggies are harmed at all. So I'm going to stick this in the freezer, and I will have plenty of char siu pork tenderlove the next time I have a big group of friends over here. So tell me what you think of the recipe. If you liked it, I hope you subscribe, and I will see you again next time on The Vegan Good Life with Miyoko.